Hi and welcome to our next video on CameraSim. In this one, we're going to take a look at how to shoot in manual mode. On your Nikon camera, that will be M on your dial. So let's choose this radio button here for manual, and let's take a look at shooting in manual mode. It is the most challenging of all the modes because we are now allowed to change any of the settings, aperture or shutter speed. We have to set them all properly. Now, why would we use manual mode if it is so challenging? Well, manual mode allows us to be the most creative, and we can do the most things when we are in manual mode. So let's take a look at it. So if you notice here, if I move my aperture, you can see that in this case, when I'm in manual mode, the shutter speed does not change. If I move shutter speed, same thing, the aperture does not change. So I'm going to move my ISO to 200. And as you can see here, if I take a look at this right now, my light is insufficient. I don't have enough light to get a properly exposed picture. So what I'm going to have to do is take a look at my aperture settings, take a look at my shutter speed. So if we take a look here, you can see that the aperture has an F number of 10. I need to let in more light into the camera. So I'm going to slide this to the left and make that number smaller. So when I do that, I should be letting in more light into the camera, and that's what I'm doing. But as we can see with the light meter, it's still not enough. I need to still adjust something so that I can get the right amount of light for my photo. Well, remember, we talked about ISO. ISO is controlling the sensitivity of the camera to light. And as I slide it to the left, as the ISO number gets bigger, it becomes more sensitive to light. So I'm going to slide it to the right to ISO 400. And we can see that that still didn't make a change here. I'm going to slide it to ISO 800. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the shutter speed, and I'm going to make the camera have a longer shutter speed so the shutters open longer. That's going to let in more light. As you can see, that's going to change this here. So now I'm getting more light for our photo. So now I'm at 1/40th of a second for the shutter speed. The aperture is 2.8. That means the iris is as large as possible. We had to make these adjustments because our lighting was lower this time. We were indoors, so we don't have as much lighting. So therefore we had to make the camera more sensitive to light. So now that we're in the proper lighting conditions, we can try to take our photo and see how it turns out. So we got a happy face. We did end up getting her in focus. The shutter speed is fast enough that she has stopped. She is not blurry from moving back and forth. We do have a blurred effect on the pinwheel, but again, that could be an effect that we're going for. So go back to Viewfinder and try now to change some of these settings. Try to move your lighting condition to a darker condition. Shoot in manual mode and see if you can adjust the ISO, the aperture, and the shutter speed to get the correct lighting and to get her, your subject, in focus. That's it for this tutorial. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.